Mayor Buttigieg, Senator Bernie Sanders, former Vice President Joe Biden, and entrepreneur Andrew Yang. There are a few others as well. In an interview with CNN, Yang said his goal is to stand out in the debates while letting voters get to know him. And Andrew Yang joins us now to talk about how he is preparing for the debate.
Hey, you all, welcome back to the channel. And great news, the debates that will be happening next week will feature Andrew Yang in the debate lineup that we were hoping for, and that is with the May on the night that is going to be the most viewed, the nights that's going to contain both Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, and many of the major politicians in the lineup that are basically in the forefront of the campaign. And this is such great news because we didn't know exactly if Andrew Yang would end up on one of those nights that's going to be the less viewed, with the candidates that that probably aren't going to get as much viewership, right? Because people are going to be watching it on the nights the most. That it's going to have Joe Biden, it's going to have Bernie Sanders, and although Elizabeth Warren is probably one of the only heavy hitters who won't be in the lineup night that Andrew Yang is going to appear on, all of the other major ones are going to be there. So this was very important because we didn't want Andrew Yang to end up, not getting a whole lot of attention and a lot of people still not knowing who he is. Because this is going to be the opportunity that really starts to make the concept of universal basic income a household idea. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. The more that debate goes on, and the more attention that's paid to Andrew Yang, the more America's going to get to become aligned with the ideas of Andrew Yang. Now, interesting enough, what seems to be happening is Andrew Yang is preparing for the format of the debates. And, of course, when we watch the debates, what we see is they have only a few seconds to, make major points to major issues, right? So they're about 60 seconds at a time. So he needs to be able to get out the message, 60-second intervals, in an effective way. And it seems like he's practicing that, and he's going to have that down pat. He's been pretty much, I think, with a lot of the platforms he's been aired on, they haven't given him a whole lot of time anyway. So hopefully this will present an opportunity to drive those major points. Standing out is going to be very important. We know that we have had a series of colorful elections. Elections, I remember growing up, a lot of people, everybody thought elections were kind of boring. A lot of politics, a lot of people thought were boring. And now we got this very colorful reality TV style like political climate. And it's changed, a lot of the mindsets of a lot of people. And so people are going to really be looking for standout candidates, new ideas, significant ideas, and I think something like universal basic income, getting $1,000 per month with the freedom dividend, the way that Andrew Yang approaches this in a very logical way, but at the same time, with a concept that's just been so vastly different from what we've been accustomed to, out there's going to just ever so more draw a lot of attention to Andrew Yang. They're going to see him gaining and sticking in there the next round of debates, which will happen in September. It requires even more qualification, and this is good because what it does is it's going to thin the pack out so much more, because a lot of these 23 candidates are going to be eliminated and won't be able to proceed, which then Americans are going to get to really laser focus on, who really can become president. We see Bernie Sanders slipping away in the polls. We see Joe Biden starting to lose a little points there, and Elizabeth Warren seems to be gaining based on the Bernie Sanders base. And so they're into this fight that's going to be quite interesting. But I think it's also showing a telling sign that Bernie Sanders is losing a lot of traction to become president. Elizabeth Warren, although gaining, a lot of people think she's going to be weak against Trump based on her ancestry debacle with her claiming to be Native American. And then as of late, we got Joe Biden, who has a history of problems with racial issues. Not saying he's a racist or anything like that, but just saying he's been connected to on the wrong side of race issues, and with the late idea of him seeming to be talking up blatantly outright racist Congress people, and being kind of now back sucked into being on the wrong side of the issues to many, and how many view. So these are all very damaging issues to the leading candidates, going down and kind of shining the spotlight, I think, more now on ideas like what we're going to get with Andrew Yang, problem solving ideas. And I think the American people are going to get to see what it looks like when a candidate not only has a very problem solving approach to issues, but then have the solutions to them that make a lot of sense. And so that's going to be all very interesting to watch. Of course, I think they're going to be tightening up a lot on, other issues like foreign policy and a variety of things. And I think Andrew Yang's doing good in that department, sticking to his guns. I think he needs to keep the idea going that it is Congress ultimately and how we deal with the foreign community that has the power to declare war, and that burden should be placed on them and the American people. And I think if he can make a clear point of that and spell that out quite clearly, I think it will resonate well with his foreign policy issues going forward, through his campaign. But it's going to be very interesting to watch. Very happy with the how the lineup worked out. As Andrew himself said, they could not be more happier with it. I'm very happy with it. It certainly is, I think, in about a week's time, going to have Andrew Yang as the talk of the country. I think his numbers are going to shoot up. And I think you're going to see him just come out of nowhere. Because really, if we really think about it, the Democratic Party has nothing fresh and new. We had Bernie Sanders attempt to run back in 2016, and it's pretty much the same idea of that going forward. It's nothing fresh and new with the Democratic Party, and it makes people in the Democratic camp who are looking at somebody like Donald Trump and saying, at the very least, they got to get rid of Trump. Anybody, they'll take anybody that's available. And so far, it hasn't been really anybody available. But now they get this new option of this fresh new candidate seemingly out of nowhere, because most people don't know who Andrew Yang is still yet, except for us, a lot of us internet guys and you all in the internet community. But the mainstream America, this is going to give them an option, a fresh new option they don't have before, so they don't feel so trapped in the same dry, stacked deal of politicians that the Democratic Party has. Not to mention Andrew Yang is not a politician, so he is the antithesis of Donald Trump, right? He's not a politician, but then he's on the other side of all the issues of Donald Trump. Yet at the same time, his ideas are as interesting, as new, and as colorful as Trump's ideas were when he first came on the scene, and he was just something outside the box. Andrew Yang with his freedom dividend is something outside the box as well. So this is going to be all very interesting to watch. You guys tell me, how do you feel about him being in this great lineup, getting the most viewership with the debates coming up here shortly? Also, as a quick reminder, don't forget we're running a universal basic income experiment of our own. This is real money. You all should be signing up for this. This is not play money. This is not monopoly money. This is a cryptocurrency money over a blockchain that you can get for free for participating in our experiment to try to use blockchain technology through a community to create on an international level our own universal basic income project. So should be a lot of fun, should be very interesting. Yang Gang should definitely be a part of this as it speaks to many of the core ideas we have about this. But that's all I want to say in this video. If you all like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.